Scientists got an octopus high on MDMA. That's a real sentence. It was published in a peer-reviewed journal. And what happened next was so strange, so deeply weird, that the researchers spent 3 years trying to explain it. But that's not even the most unsettling thing about octopuses. This is, right now, somewhere on the ocean floor, an octopus is sleeping. And while it sleeps, its skin is doing this. Nobody told it to do that. It has no idea it's doing it. Scientists think it might be dreaming. And the dream, whatever it is playing out in real time across its entire body like a living television screen. You can watch an octopus dream, and once you know that, you can never look at them the same way again. Because here's what science has figured out in the last 10 years. Octopuses should not exist. Not like this, not this smart, not this strange. And yet, here they are, doing things that make neuroscientists uncomfortable at dinner parties. Let's talk about all of it. You hatch alone, no mother waiting, no siblings nearby, just open water, 8 arms you've never used, and approximately 0 instructions. Your entire species lives for 2 years. You will never meet your father. You'll barely remember your mother. She stopped eating the moment she laid your eggs and slowly died guarding them. By the time you hatched, she was already gone. So, rough start. And here's the thing. By every rule evolution has ever written, you should not be intelligent. Intelligence is expensive. It costs energy. It takes generations of social pressure to develop. Dolphins are smart because they need each other to survive. Primates are smart because navigating a social hierarchy is basically a full-time job. Crows are smart because they pass knowledge down through flocks over decades. You have none of that. You live alone. You die in 2 years. You leave nothing behind. You don't teach anyone anything. And yet, you can open child-proof jars, recognize individual human faces, navigate complex mazes, use coconut shells as portable shelters, play, as in play for fun, with no goal, just because it's entertaining, and dream, and edit your own genetics, and respond to MDMA in a way that's chemically identical to how it hits humans at 2 a.m. Something went very, very wrong with you, or very, very right. Science is still arguing about which one. But before we get to the MDMA, we need to talk about something even weirder. You don't just have one brain, you have 9, and 8 of them are in your arms, and they don't always agree with each other. Here's something wild to think about. Imagine your hands could make decisions without you. Like right now, you reach into a bag for your keys, and your hand just finds them, on its own. No thought required. Your brain didn't do anything. Your hand handled it. That's not a metaphor. That's literally how octopus arms work. You have 500 million neurons, which for reference is more than most mammals. But only 150 million of those are in your central brain. The other 350 million distributed across your 8 arms. Each arm has its own cluster of neurons, its own sense of touch and taste, its own ability to move, react, and make decisions, completely independently, without asking your brain first. Your central brain doesn't know exactly where your arms are in space right now. It doesn't need to. The arms know where each other are. They coordinate crawling, hunting, and exploring through a neural ring that bypasses your brain entirely. Scientists once severed an octopus arm and placed food in front of it. The arm, completely detached, no brain, no body, reached for the food and slowly began trying to pass it toward a mouth that was no longer there. An arm, with no head, still trying to feed a body it had lost. Sit with that for a second. Your sense of self, your you, is distributed across 8 semi-independent agents who are also somehow still you. Philosopher Peter Godfrey Smith put it best: it's very hard to even think about what it would be like to be that decentralized. Because our entire concept of consciousness assumes one center, one headquarters, one you making all the calls. You don't have that. You have a committee, 8 arms voting, a central brain loosely managing the outcome. And the arms, they don't always wait for the vote. Okay, so you've got 9 semi-independent brains. But here's where it gets genuinely unhinged. When the temperature drops, your brain rewrites itself, not learns, not adapts, literally rewrites its own code. The water temperature just dropped 10 degrees overnight. For a normal animal, a fish, a crab, basically anything else living down here, this is a serious problem. Cold water slows nerve signals, slows reaction time, slows everything. A cold fish is a sluggish fish. A sluggish fish gets eaten. But you're not a fish. Within hours of that temperature drop, something starts happening inside your nervous system that no other animal on Earth does at your scale. Your cells are pulling out your DNA's instruction sheets, the molecular messengers called RNA that tell your body what proteins to build, and editing them in real time, rewriting thousands of lines of biological code to produce different proteins that work better in the cold. Not changing your DNA. Changing the photocopies your DNA makes. Researchers measured this. In octopuses adapted to cold water, they found significant edits at over 13,000 sites across the nervous system. In warm water octopuses, 550 sites, 13,000 versus 550. You're not just adapting, you are basically reinstalling your own operating system every time the water temperature changes. And here's the thing nobody fully understands yet. Scientists think this might be part of why you're so smart. Your brain isn't a fixed object, it's a document that keeps getting revised, constantly editing, optimizing, reconfiguring based on what's happening around you. Every other animal on Earth does a version of this, humans included, but at a scale so small compared to yours that it barely counts. You are the only animal doing this at a level that makes biologists stop mid-sentence and go quiet, and you have absolutely no idea you're doing it. Right. So, 9 brains, self-editing genetics, dreams. Now let's add the thing that actually makes no sense at all. You are completely colorblind, and yet you make perfect color camouflage every single day, and nobody fully knows how. You cannot see color. One type of light receptor in your eyes. Humans have 4. Most fish have more than you. By every optical measurement, your visual world is pure grayscale, 50 shades of nothing. This is embarrassing, honestly, for an animal that is about to do what you're about to do right now without thinking about it, without any conscious effort. Your skin is shifting. Thousands of tiny pigment cells called chromatophores are expanding and contracting across your body in patterns so precise and so fast that by the time you finish reading this sentence, you've already matched the rock beneath you down to its individual speckles. Gold, rust, faint algae green. Perfect. You matched colors you cannot see. Science has been trying to explain this for decades and has not fully figured it out. 2 competing theories. Theory 1, your weird W-shaped pupils. That bizarre pupil shape might focus different wavelengths of light at slightly different depths simultaneously, essentially decoding color through blur, the way a prism splits white light into a spectrum. You're one receptor doing the work of 4 by rapidly shifting focus. Theory 2, and this one is genuinely unsettling. Your skin contains light-sensitive proteins, the same kind found in eyes. There's real evidence that your skin may be detecting color on its own, independently, without sending the signal to your brain at all. Your skin might be seeing for you. You might have eyes covering your entire body that have been running quietly the whole time without you ever noticing. And somewhere, a neuroscientist is staring at this data at midnight, deeply regretting their career choices. All right, here's the one you've been waiting for. The scientists, the drug, the tank. What actually happened? Scientists at Johns Hopkins dissolved MDMA into a tank of water. Then they put an octopus in it. Now you need to understand something about octopus social behavior first. You hate other octopuses. Deeply, consistently, personally. You're the most committed introvert in the animal kingdom. If another octopus enters your space, your immediate response is aggression. Every time. No exceptions, except the MDMA hit your gills, entered your bloodstream, and something switched. You stopped attacking. You started exploring. You reached toward the other octopus, slowly, gently, and with tentative arms. The way someone at a festival reaches out to a stranger and says, "Hey, I really like your energy." You started hugging the cage, floating near the surface, completely at peace with a species you were trying to fight 20 minutes ago. The researchers compared it directly to how MDMA affects humans. The touching, the openness, the sudden interest in connecting with whatever is nearby. But here's why this broke science. And it's not the funny part, it's the important part. The molecular binding site that MDMA targets, the serotonin transporter, is 100% identical between octopus and human. Not similar, not comparable, identical, which means the brain chemistry that drives human social bonding existed before the dinosaurs, before the first animal crawled onto land, before fish had fully formed. 500 million years ago, something in nervous tissue locked in this mechanism for connection, and evolution kept it. Through every extinction, every catastrophe, every 500 million years of change, you and a human last shared a common ancestor 600 million years ago. Since then, everything diverged. You built 8 semi-independent brains in your arms. We built a centralized brain up a spine. Completely different architecture, different evolutionary path, different everything. But the deep code for social bonding, running on the same hardware. You don't want to connect. Your whole life is solitude, but the machinery for it is buried in there, waiting, suppressed, and it took a party drug to find it. You're 2 years old now. For an octopus, that's old age. You've spent your entire life alone, hunting, hiding, dreaming in color you couldn't see, rewriting your brain chemistry in the cold, navigating the world through 8 arms that think without you. 9 minds in one body, none of them quite sure where one ends and another begins. You never formed a real relationship, never taught anyone anything, never built anything that outlasted you. Now you lay your eggs inside a rock crevice, hundreds of them, strung in delicate clusters, and you stop eating. You fan them with your arms for weeks, keeping them oxygenated, protecting them from predators. You're slowly dying, and you know it, the way animals know things. Not as a thought, but as a fact the body accepts. By the time they hatch, you'll be gone. The eggs drift up into open water, each one alone, each one carrying the strangest set of instructions evolution ever wrote. They don't know yet that their arms will think without them. They don't know they'll dream. They don't know they can rewrite themselves in a cold current at 3 a.m. without even trying. They'll figure it out alone, because that's the only way octopuses ever figure out anything. And somehow, impossibly, stubbornly, it works. If you thought that was wild, there's another creature out there that makes octopuses look simple. The video's right there, I'll warn you. You won't look at it the same way after. And if you want to go even deeper into the hidden psychology of other animals, subscribe and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.